You had to put equations in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So go ahead and take that first equation, solve it for y. So what would be your first step? Jaden, all right, so what's your first step? Subtract the 3x. So when I subtract the 3x, I get 4y equals, now it's negative, and then the 12 over there was already positive, it stays positive. Now what do I have to do to get rid of that 4? Divide. So y equals negative 3/4 x plus 3. Go ahead and take out your note packet. We're going to graph. Who remembers how to graph a line? We're going to talk about how to graph a line. Now, I will say for a system, you need to use, does everyone have an ID? I usually use my ID. So you might want to take out something that you can use to create a straight line, because your lines have to be very straight when you're graphing a linear equation. So in your note packet, you're going to go to page 13, and we're just going to do a quick graphing review. We'll do the first 2 graphs. All right, so you're going to start by finding your slope. What's the slope of this first equation? What's the number in front of x? Negative 2. And the y-intercept is 5. So you're going to start by putting a point. Put a point at 5 on the y-axis. So put your point right here. And that slope, m, tells you how to move. Okay? We're going to write our slope as a fraction. So write that negative 2 over 1. You always want your slope to be a fraction. Because it's negative, we're going to go down 2. And because it's over 1, we're going to move to the right 1. So from this point, I want you to count down 2 to the right 1, put a point. Down 2 to the right 1, put a point. And then pick up your straight edge. It's hard for me to do it on my iPad, so mine won't be straight, but yours needs to be straight. And that's your graph. That's it. There is an option to make a line, but that option is kind of difficult. I don't really like that. I don't like to use it, but. All right, now let's look at question 2. So this is my first graph. So B tells you where to begin, and the slope, M, tells you how to move. So my slope for the second one is positive 3 over 5. So that means I'm going to go up 3, right 5. And then I'm going to begin at negative 2. So this time, put a point at negative 2 on the y-axis. And from that point, move up 3 to the right 5. So up 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then pick up your rulers, your IDs, whatever straight edge you have. Draw a straight line. And that is your graph. Today we're going to talk about graphing a system, which simply means I'm going to graph more than one on the same grid. On this one? All right, so now let's talk about a system. So a system simply means you have more than one line. There's 3 different types of options. You can have one solution, which means there's just one point. There's one solution. So, and the solution is always written as an ordered pair, x, y. In order for that to happen, the 2 lines have to have different slopes. So we're graphing 2 equations. If you have different slopes, then you have 1 point. The second option would be infinitely many. Which means you have the same slope and you have the same y-intercept. And then lastly, it would be no solution. And that's when you have the same slope, but a different y-intercept. And that's your 3 options when you graph 2 lines. So either you're going to get 1 point where they intersect, or it's going to look like it's one line because it's the same equation, or they're going to be, what do we call these lines? Anybody remember? What do we call these 2 lines? Lines that have the same slope, what do we call them? I heard it. I don't know where I heard it. Parallel lines. These are parallel lines. Parallel lines have the same slope. All right, so let's go ahead and start graphing. So when we look at this example 2 on page 14, this already graphed for us. What would be my solution? The solution is where they intersect. So let me zoom in. What is this point right here? The point where they come together is your solution. So what does x equal right here? X is 2. Oops. Okay. All right. I forgot I don't have a laser anymore. Let me make it back to a laser. I remember how to do it. Okay, there we go. All right. So right here, x is 2. And then y is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the solution is 2, 7. And that's why we need to have straight lines, because if we don't, we're going to get that wrong. We're not going to get the solution right. So let's go ahead and practice graphing. Let's look at this first one. So M is 5/1 and B is 2. So you're going to go ahead and start this first graph. Start it at 2. And from that point, because it's positive, you're going to move up 5 and to the right 1. Up 5 and to the right 1. So I'm going to put a lot of points because I want to make sure that I get the solution right. So I'm going to move up 5. So from this point, go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the right 1, put a point. Excuse me. And because I want to put one more, I'm going to actually go backwards. I'm going to go back to my y-intercept and do the opposite. Instead of going up and to the right, I'm going to go down and to the left. So I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the left 1 and put a point right there. But you all have you can like make a straight line. So go ahead and pick up your rulers, your IDs, debit card, something. Lay it down on your graph and draw a straight line. Has to be straight. Okay, so I'm gonna really try hard to use this tool to draw a straight line. The problem is on this graph, if I don't put it exactly right, see, I missed a mark. That's why I don't like to use it. Let me try it again. Nope, see, I keep missing it. Let me see if I come over here. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll take that one. That was decent. Okay. So now let's go ahead and graph the second one. So my second one has a slope of, there's an invisible -1, which means I'm going to go down and right. And my y-intercept is -4. So let's go ahead and graph that. Put a point at -4. Go down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. Go ahead and draw your line. And then tell me where they intersected and write that as an order pair. Where these two lines come together, write that as an order pair. And that would be your solution. So it looks like it intersected at -1, -3. All right, let's go ahead and graph let's look at number 2. All right, so this one is not in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to do a rewrite. So in order to solve this for y, I would start by subtracting the x. And then divide everything by 2. So your equation would be y equals -1/2 x plus 1. So your slope is -1/2. And your y-intercept is 1. So you're going to go down and right. So go ahead and graph it out. Put your point at +1. Go down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2. Go ahead and draw your line. For your second one, you have a slope of +1/2 and a y-intercept of 3. So you're going to go up 1 and to the right 2. So put your point at +3. Go up 1 and to the right 2, up 1 and to the right 2. Draw your line. And then tell me where they intersected. And they intersect right here. Go ahead and tell me where that order pair is. And that would be your solution. Wait, did I name that right? Nope, I did that wrong. What should it be? Not -2, +3. -2, +2. There we go. Now we got it. All right, we just got 2 more and we're done for today. So I know it says number 2 again, but that should be number 3, the next one. That's a typo. Let's go ahead and graph that one. Let's look at number 3. So the first one, we'll graph the easy one first. Let's go ahead and graph this one. This one is already set up for us, so we'll just graph it. So we have a slope of 2/1 and a y-intercept at 4. Go ahead and graph that. Pick up your straight edges, make a super straight line. So you're going to start it at, begin at 4, And then you're going up, 2, right, 1. Up, 2, right, 1. Wait, oh, that's too close. Now take that top equation, put it in slope-intercept form. So take this equation right here. We're going to put it in slope-intercept form, just like we did in our bell work. We're subtracting the 4x, and then you're dividing everything by -2. Which should give you y equals positive 2x minus 1. So your slope is the same, but your y-intercept is different. What kind of lines? What do we call this? Parallel lines. So I'm going to put a point at -1. Go up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1. Because these have the same slope. Let me go ahead and talk about that a little bit more. So here, see how I have a slope of 2? I have a slope of 2 in both of these equations. So when I draw my two lines, they're not going to intersect because they're parallel. And when that happens, we have no solution. All right, last question. I want you to try to do number 4 by yourself. I'm going to come around and check your work. As long as your slopes are different, that means you will have a solution. So for number 4, we have different slopes. Even though we have the same y-intercept, we know that it's going to have a solution. write it as an ordered pair. You gotta write the solution. What's the solution? You gotta write the solution as an ordered pair. All right, who got 0, 3? All right, so let's go ahead and look at the two graphs. So they have different slopes, but the y-intercept was both 3. So we honestly didn't have to graph it because we can already tell that they're both crossing at 3 on the y-axis. So our solution would be 0, 3. All right, use the rest of the time. So we finished everything for homework 4. I want you to use this time to finish homework 4. I'll pass back your purple sheets on Monday. Homework 4 is due on Wednesday. We have another quest, and that's October 5th.